Michigan Football Report with some big-time stories coming up on Jim Harbaugh's future and some upperclassmen star players who we might not see in a Michigan uniform again. But I do want to ask you guys to subscribe to the channel. Subscribing to the channel on YouTube helps us out, helps us grow the channel. Also, every time you log into YouTube, you'll know if we've got a new video or not. You still have to opt in to watch it. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button if you haven't. It's the Michigan Football Report coming up right now. Welcome into the Michigan Football Report. As always, I am James Yoder, your host, bringing you the latest news and rumors on the 1-2 unranked Michigan Wolverine football team. And frankly, there's a lot to talk about. We didn't really know what this show is going to look like today, but some news has surfaced here in the last hour or two. Want to get it kind of in front of you guys. You guys decide what it means for the future of this program. We'll jump into the Harbaugh heads rumor meter. Aiden Hutchinson, is he out for the season? Will he ever play for Michigan in 2020 or maybe ever again? I'm giving this one 4 Harbaugh heads, FACK fact. Now, Michigan didn't come out and explicitly say that Hutchinson won't be returning this year, but here's what we know. Fracture in his ankle that happened early on in the Indiana game on Saturday. He is a draft-eligible junior, and if you remember back to the summer, there was some talk from definitely his parents, his dad, former Michigan football player himself, Chris, who's a doctor, that, hey, they might want him to transfer. They want Michigan or the Big Ten to let players, leave the program without having to sit out this summer to play 2020 elsewhere. So he definitely wanted to get in the field this year. So it isn't a situation where, he got injured by coming back to Michigan or anything like that. But getting surgery, okay, they did confirm that. And Jim Harbaugh, of course, was very vague on what that meant. But this surgery happened 5 weeks to the day from the Ohio State game. You guys tell me what people you know that get ankle surgery on a fractured ankle and will return in less than 5 weeks to play potentially the best team in the country. I think it's probably a bad idea, even if he was wanting to do it. He might not ever play, though, for Michigan in a maize and blue uniform this season or ever. Could enter the NFL draft, but only playing 2.5 games this year, wasn't really projected as a first-round draft pick. It could mean he returns in 2021 to be a part of this program, as I guess he'll only be a junior again next year, even if he didn't redshirt, but because of no eligibility being wasted this year because of the NCAA rules. But that is the story. Aiden Hutchinson will get surgery on a fractured ankle, and I believe, although this has not been confirmed, I am putting my stamp of just connecting dots here that we won't see him in a Michigan football uniform in the regular season. Potentially a chance he could play one more game in the bowl game. We'll have to see. But if you haven't seen the Harbaugh heads, the Michigan football rumor-o-meter created by me, if you see 0 Harbaugh heads, you know that's zero. You know that's fake news, probably something put out there by Brandon Brown. 1 Harbaugh heads, a small shred of truth. 2 Harbaugh heads, strictly in the rumor category. People are talking is how we like to say it. 3 Harbaugh heads means it's pretty likely. If we give it the 4 Harbaugh heads, FACK fact, that means, it means it's going down. That's how Jim Harbaugh spells it. That is how we spell it here at the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports, giving you the opportunity to predict the score. As of filming here, Monday afternoon, the game is still on. Michigan hosting number 13, Wisconsin. Saturday night in the Big House, under the lights, ABC national game. A little time to get back in the good graces of all Michigan football fans everywhere. And frankly, Wisconsin will have gone 22 days without playing a football game by the time this game goes down. So Michigan, I just can't imagine what will happen if they lose this game and fall to 1-3. But go down in the comments, predict the score. I'll put an early prediction in there, but might not make my final prediction until I figure out what's happening with other guys in the program that may be injured, may be playing. We'll see what happens over the next 3 or 4 days. And if you're like me, you're sick of Don Brown. You thought he should have got fired after Ohio State dropped 62 and could have dropped 70 very easily inside the 15-yard line with a minute or two left in 2018. He came back for 2019, wasn't very successful when it counted, and now he's just getting torched left and right in 2020. Fire Don Brown t-shirts are on sale. We made it really easy for you to go to the website. Thought I'd bring this to your attention. Chatsports.com/firedon. It'll redirect you right to the website to buy them, and you'll have one probably in your hands just in time to see Michigan lose to Penn State or maybe even Rutgers or Maryland. We'll see. So if you like that shirt, the amazing blue Fire Don Brown t-shirt, chatsports.com/firedon. Next rumor up, the NFL for Jim Harbaugh. he was asked about it at his press conference today. I'm giving it 2 Harbaugh heads. People are talking, but I really want to show you guys what was said by Jim Harbaugh on his press conference call, Zoom call today. So here's what he says. I don't really have anything to really say to that because I don't have an interest in listening to that kind of stuff. I'll let the actions speak as they have in the past, is what Jim Harbaugh says. So he addressed his future, and some credit to the Michigan blog boys and the local media for actually asking a tough question when they seem to be getting a little more loosey-goosey and holding Harbaugh accountable on their podcasts and blogs and radio shows, but have been pretty weak when it comes to actually asking him substantive questions in press conferences. But if you read the entire quote, it seems that Harbaugh is completely denying even the potential of going back to coach to the NFL. But I'll ask this question, just in a lot of ways: is there a spot for him in the NFL? Right? Is there even a job to have him? Why would you want a coach that's coming, off kind of on a downside of his coaching career? So I'll ask you guys this one: where will Jim Harbaugh be coaching, or where will he be doing for his profession in 2021? If you think he'll be coaching in the NFL, type NFL. If you think it'll be Michigan, type Michigan. If you think he'll either take a TV job, or if he'll take a year off and reassess where he's at, go ahead and type TV, type year off, whatever you want to then. I think, clearly these are the 3 options. I don't think he would take another college job under any circumstances. I don't think that's his style. And, with 1 year left in his contract at Michigan, certainly the opportunity arises or is there for him to return to the program. But Harbaugh was asked more questions, some hard-hitting ones, asked about his contract. And he basically flat out said, I'm not answering that question. Our focus is to win the next game. You can write whatever article you want because I know that's what's been happening in the last 5.5 years, 6 years since I got here. So he addresses the contract situation. He has talked about it in the summer, last spring, that, hey, before coronavirus, we were talking about a contract extension. But we're sitting here on November 9th, and there's 33 days until Michigan and Ohio State play. Okay, once that game happens, there are no games on the schedule for Michigan they're guaranteed, right? Obviously, there's a plan to play a championship week game, probably against the 4th or 5th place team in the Big Ten West, so probably like Illinois or Purdue, and then potentially a bowl game. I guess any team is eligible, and Michigan will probably be given a bowl spot because they're not making records a part of it this year. But in a lot of ways, we're 33 days away from Jim Harbaugh being a lame duck coach, meaning you can negative recruit the hell out of him. Hey, this guy doesn't have a contract next year. He's not even going to be here past, your freshman year for the 2021 recruits, and that's coming up. The signing day is in mid to late December. So this is going to be one of the most interesting 33 days we've ever seen in Michigan athletics, given the fact that you've got a coach that everyone thought would do wonders for the school coming into the last year of his contract and potentially, and frankly, already is, by far and away his worst season at the school. So a lot's going to happen in the next 33 days. And if you don't want to miss any of it, you want to be up to the minute on what's going on in Michigan football. And no BS, no filtering, no softball questions, and no softball takes. I'm going to give it to you straight. Reach out to my sources in the program and tell you what's happening behind the scenes with Michigan football. Subscribe today, youtube.com/Michigan TV. Tell your friends. Subscribe, youtube.com/Michigan TV. Last story for the day, maybe the most important one. I don't know, because the offensive line is looking pretty rough these days. Jalen Mayfield out for the season. Give this one 2 Harbaugh heads. I don't have a read on this one. I've heard it both ways. Last week it was, hey, 3 to 5 weeks. Then Jim Harbaugh says, hey, it's day to day right now. I'm not sure. So Mayfield opted out originally. He came back to be a part of this program, opted out over the summer to go to the NFL, came back to be a part of the program, see the opportunity to be a higher NFL draft pick. He's only a redshirt sophomore. So he has, 2 years of eligibility after this one, but really 3 because, this year doesn't count towards eligibility. So I'm really interested to see what happens this one. From what I've been told prior to the Indiana game, he should be healthy within a few weeks. Probably 2 weeks before the Ohio State game, probably a week or 2 weeks from now. But is he going to go back into the lineup, risk further injury, something that lingers maybe into the season's already a month later than it normally is this year anyways, something that could linger into January and February if he gets hurt again, mess up his draft stock? I'm not sure. But if I was Jalen Mayfield and I thought I was an NFL top 50 pick, top 40 pick, and we're set on going to the NFL, I might not ever come back to Michigan unless you think that what you put on the field in 2 games, did worse for your draft stock than it improved, then maybe you want to return for 2021, because a first round pick, a top 20 pick, a top 10 pick, even if he had a great season, is a heck of a lot more valuable, more lucrative than going back, going to the NFL, being a second round pick, being a third round pick. Not a lot of guarantees. Definitely getting that first round pick is something he needs to do if he's going to go pro, and people are advising him. But we've seen the advice that Michigan football players have taken lately. Ambry Thomas opted out of the season. I don't even think he's going to get drafted. Nico Collins certainly could help out this wide receiver core right now, help out Joe Milton. Some people say he's a first-round draft pick. I don't think it's going to happen for Nico Collins because he set out this season. So a lot of these guys getting bad advice from whoever they're talking to. I wish Jim Harbaugh would just say, hey, let's call up my brother, John, right? He's the guy who went, 14-2 last year. Let's ask him if he would draft you at pick number 30. I don't know what he would say, but I think that would be something that Jim Harbaugh could do that very few other NFL coaches, no other college coaches could do right now. Say, hey, my brother is a championship NFL coach right now. Let's call him and see what he thinks of your draft prospect. I hope Jim Harbaugh is taking advantage of that, but I haven't seen any evidence that says that he is. That is the show for today. I've got a couple great shows for you guys to watch if you haven't yet. It's our post-game reaction show from Saturday. Also, my Michigan football mailbag, your questions from Twitter, here on Sunday. And if you haven't yet, we asked you a couple times during the show, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Do not leave this YouTube channel right now without clicking this button. We will see you guys in a couple days. Go Blue.